7:30 from we New Englandville Studios. Good morning and welcome to the midweek edition of the program Good Morning Salon for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today na Wednesday, January 15th, 2020. We will bring the program come to you this Wednesday morning. My name na Khadija Bangura.
And Sapti Ukalon, good morning. Inside the program this morning, the lead counsel for the State and the Commission of Inquiry, Robert Kowado, recommend to Justice Bankole Thompson say, for ban first-time President Dr. Anes Baikoroma, not for all any public office again. Waiting do you go know inside the program. The chairman for the Sierra Leone Premier League Board, Ali Van de Koroma, don't say the body gets serious challenge for run the 2019 and 2020 Premier League because they don't get corporate from government for support the league. And today inside the program, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Inga Sandi, will talk about the ministry in work and some concern the way people get both fuel and cement.
Well, this and plenty others to read them, then are the program for you this Wednesday morning, plus the National Secretary General for the All People's Congress APC Party, Ambassador Usman Fode and Sanedon confirmed to Radio Democracy say, Tuesday, January 13 this year, some people be attacked them party office, chap and wound and supported them where they now na hospital. And SEF, the Director for Public Education and External Outreach na the Anti-Corruption Commission, Patrick Sandy say ACC don't give 500 million euros bail to first-time Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Alpha Timbo, and 4 other people after where ACC be arrest them for circa 49,000 bag race, where the Commission they investigate them for. Wakabot SEF, they inside the program for you this Wednesday morning. Members say they listen to we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by Africell. The program na Good Morning Salon. Send we message on 077 981 981, or if they watch we live now with Facebook streaming, drop your comment, ask question on any of the issues them where we they can discuss inside the program this Wednesday morning.
Well, inside the program, as we tell Una, we get to look at different issue than today. And inside the program now, we look at the first issue. Also, the Director for Public Education and External Outreach, now the Anti-Corruption Commission, Patrick Sande say, ACC don't give 500 million loans bill to first-time Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Alpha Timbo, and 4 other people, after where ACC be arrest them for circa 14,000 bag of rice where the Commission they investigate them for. Patrick Sandi talk more to Musa S. Kamara inside this interview.
The Anti-Corruption Commission been receive, of course, information about rice, when of course alleged Chinese aid, when rice were meant for school feeding. And so based on those reports, an investigation was instituted. And that investigation has been ongoing up to the period where it pleased His Excellency for relief then people then they of the duties, because we see and say when it relates to school feeding within the Ministry of Education, the 4 people are critical. I think on the basis of that, His Excellency the President took that action.
Okay, you talk about Chinese aid. When this rice can Amos rice will you talk about?
To be honest, I can't tell you precisely when the rice come in, but we talk about here 14,000 bags of rice. This na in the total number of bags of rice with in question. And in fact, the rice initially came, of course, for the government of Sierra Leone, the Ministry of Agriculture, and then later was transferred to the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, because, of course, we know that that is the ministry that deals with school feeding issues.
The Anti-Corruption Commission makes some arrest them. Would any people who want to arrest for helping out investigation?
Well, we arrest one Zainab, we be understand say actually na him been get rice where they been go put na a particular warehouse in the eastern part. So we arrest them, and of course following the press release. Well, Zainab, I can't tell you who she is, because as a matter of fact, it just could be described as a business person or somebody will be dealing that. I don't know any other thing beyond that.
Oh, so what are the other people then?
The former Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, we now Honorable Alpha Timbo. Then we get the Deputy Minister, we now Mrs. Gogra. And then we get also the Permanent Secretary, we now Charles Commander, and the Director of Nutrition, we now Mrs. Masakwe.
As we dey do this interview now, who said them?
Well, they have been admitted to bail and they have been processed. So I want to believe, say, they don't complete the process of the bail and then they will resist anymore. Yesterday, then come. What I mean by that, like they are not in any form of detention. They have been admitted to bail and released. Why is the investigation still very active and it go on?
So when una arrest them and when they grant them bail?
We invited them yesterday. Now they say we don't start an interview with them and then we admit them to bail. That's what they say.
So now almost one person stand or almost them bail a single person of them?
Now 500 million we bail them or for provide a property worth and then also one shorty. 500 million.
Okay, we dey talk about 5 people or more people them now regarding this case. What are the different cases them with them people also get?
No, well, the issue is first we understand it got to do with the school feeding rice. This rice where the Chinese government give the government. And as such, then people here, we want to understand first of all whether in actual fact waiting the rights be meant for the Duam, waiting at the decision where the cabinet be taken by way of a cabinet conclusion is what they followed through. That's what we want to establish because each and every one of them get a role for play in all of this.
When I invite the minister on, what's in your issue we want to interview on?
The rights where the Chinese government give now for a school feeding for support the free quality education. And when the rights come, the rights will go at the Ministry of Agriculture. But being that it has to do with school feeding, now the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education, with critical to that, the cabinet concluded that let the ministry provide leadership in that. However, there's also a cabinet conclusion which say that the rights therefore be given to WFP for do the need for what happened. Was it that they followed what the cabinet conclusion reached at or cabinet conclusion in the speak to or not? These are the issues. And so therefore whatever happened to the rights when even they now within the custody of the Ministry of Education, these people have to speak to it. Because as I say, the minister is the head of the ministry. The deputy also is critical. The permanent secretary has a key role to play. And then the director of nutrition. So these are the aspects we want let the public understand is what we are looking into. Decision made at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education level regarding the rights as it is, and the allegation speaks that they have gone to schools. Some people don't get, no eat them and these kind of things.
In all of this, before the Anti-Corruption Commission do investigation, go down suspects a foul play. In this case, what do you want to suspect for sake of this race?
The aspect of one, the decision making, whether it was right at the ministry level as against waiting the cabinet conclusion speak to, that is critical. And then further, what happened as the rights even go down, by way of verifying whether it went to the rightful people or the rightful beneficiaries. That's what we are looking at.
So how far the investigation don't go?
The investigation very active and we are quite satisfied as to where we did with her.
We see the insert or the relieve the minister, deputy minister, and host of other people off them, position them for take the investigation done. Somebody will be interested when this investigation will end.
No, the investigation, I know we establish a timeline now. I know we put a timeline to it. But considering the seriousness about it, we are very sure and the ACC is committed that we go complete and in record time. We go done the investigation in record time because as you said, know, a lot of issues are at stake. So we will be very, very swift with it, very thorough, and we're very professional with it. But then let the public be rest assured that we are putting in the very best to see that we get to the bottom of it all, so that when we come public, everybody will know that yes, we have done a very good job for the people of this country.
Well, that's the Director for Public Education and External Outreach and the Anti-Corruption Commission, Patrick Sandibidi, talked to Musa S. Kamara inside our interview day. Also, he say ACC don't give 500 million loans bill to First Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Alpha Timbo, and 4 other people. After we ACC be arrest them for sika over 4,000 bag of rice where the ACC they investigate. The program na Good Morning Salon.
We continue with the program as you hear from one power headlines to read them. The Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Edward Hinga Sandi, today he day with we at the studio as he go talk about the ministry in work and some concern them where people get about fuel and safe cement where they say no they na the country. Well, from yesterday to today, some 2 line been there na some fuel station them and save some commercial transport parking ground them. Also people they raise concern say driver they don't increase the price for transportation and safe fuel no dey na some certain fuel station them, especially diesel, where then they go buy. When at the studio this morning for the first time, we get the Minister of Trade and Industry, we na Dr. Hinga Sandy. Well, Dr. Hinga Sandy na being lecturer na Frabe College na the chemistry department, and self later he work na Uganda as a business consultant na one party oil industry them na Uganda. And this being time, His Excellency the President be appoint him for be Deputy Minister of Water Resources, and later he can go na the Trade Ministry for go be the minister na that particular ministry day. Good morning, Dr. Sandy, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kajida. Good morning, Saptir, and good morning, listeners.
All right. Well, again, for can look at the impact of livelihood to the citizens them, if fuel and cement and other things them not in the country, we get a political economist and self a business consultant, Wena Cyril Django. Good morning, Mr. Django, and welcome to the program.
Good morning to Una, and good morning to all listeners and viewers out there.
All right, continue for doing the program. We'll come to you shortly. I will start with you, Dr. Sandy. Before we can look at some of them concerned there, so where people believe say fuel crisis they and self cement. Let me look at the Ministry of Trade as a whole, where you take over as a Minister of Trade and Industry. What are some of the structures or policies them where you meet at the ministry where you think say favorable for let you work and improve on the trade sector?
Thank you, Gadiyo. I mean, ever since I take over as Minister of Trade and Industry, the first thing we try for doing for really assess the existing structure based on we performance, we functions them, we mandate, and we all can realize in consultation with so many business experts with the private sector, we realize say need day for make we do a review on the structures. So that make we call a retreat. We invite a number of business people there across the country. We go sit down, we take a look at what we really feel say we for the do as the Ministry of Trade and Industry. After all that careful assessment of waiting we need for do, we choose for look at the structure now. We go able to match with the functions in there. And from there, we don't come up with a review paper where we try for work on. And one way I believe say we'll get for help for transform the way the Ministry of Trade and Industry the function. We get currently structures like the department for or directorate for foreign trade. We get a directorate for trade and domestic commerce and industry. We get a directorate for policy. But the new thing they try for come up with, they try for look at and they pay more attention to what we could do for make the private sector in the country thrive, and that kind of dialogue we for make the public able to understand what in the private they do and the private also understand what in the public they do. They try for create a directorate where for the handle private sector engagements and entrepreneurship. We get other new directorates that moved on put together. We look very, very all encompassing. We get for the look at quality and standards. Although we get the Standards Bureau, they mostly implement policies around standards and quality. We try to get a directorate where really good to help for develop the policy. Because if you look at what's happen currently, the Standards Bureau, they function based on an ordinance where them pass. Although I don't try for improve on them for men become an act, but nothing not been changed from that ordinance. And looking at the current needs, we realize say we need for really bring come more, broaden the scope and able for strengthen the institution for able to perform them functions. And they gradually with the transition from an economy where we're fully dependent on waiting other people they produce in other country, one come now to a state where we self able for produce, and the industry aspect of the Ministry of Trade has been largely dormant over the years. So what we try to do right now, we are really busy with, is working with development partners for make we really come in, of course, incorporate the private sector, for make we review the industry policy, and one for try to see how we bring in things like the special economic zone, where we will create several places as the need arises, looking at the kind of things and way we produce as raw materials and site and some place where a group of industries go able to come together and able to produce them in the way they're supposed to produce where Sierra Leoneans go use. We also go there for export. So through that, say we're able to create jobs and will really become a very, very big impetus to the growth of the economy in the country.
So, looking at the different directorate that we don't mention, why you think so with the present situation of the country where you talk about industry, trade and growth, why you think so now with all in directorate here could be a solution to the current problem?
Well, we sit down and consult the private sector, the people that we're really there into business, and then come up with proposals around what we really feel so we need for do. And then proposals, and they will take them on board. We also try to consult other people that want business experts. We also come up with proposals. We'll try for merge, and looking at the existing, the current trend, then we all come to the realization, say, their new directorates, they are really going to function for drive the economy and for really give strong support to the private sector for help for develop the industry.
Most people, when you talk about trade and industry sector, then can just tend for the overlook some kind of way. When you look at the mandate of the ministry, you go discover, say, when I get huge work for do, especially dealing with business people, and try for see if stability go there, especially in the area of prices. When you take over the ministry, what are some of the things them where you don't able for do where it campaign stabilizing prices and get this kind negotiation with business people, especially them they like this where we don't the business people they serious concern about the exchange rate where they affect them businesses.
Well, Khadija, me believe first in consultation, and ever since I came, I don't try to see how at the brink everybody within the industry we them either them work they affect the Ministry of Industry or we own policies and they affect. I don't engage in a number of public-private dialogue. I bring the private sector to a meeting. We discuss within some of the challenges within they get, and we are also the interface with other government agencies for make sure say most of the challenges like we they talk of taxes, where some the grumble say they affect them, work, they engage the National Revenue Authority. We come to the forex, within engagements with the Bank of Sierra Leone, with the Ministry of Finance, and gradually all the engagements and they really they prove to be very, very, very helpful. I don't they realize say if you know get any strong dialogue with the people that were there in business, then you will get for they come up with policies them. We not actually go favor them. And once they not favor them, I tell you most of the people then when they do business really care about how much profit they make. But once you come, you look at the policy, when I discuss within the challenges, you also find ways for help them, for make them able to do them businesses. Then you go bring kind of sense around them, say, okay, we also need to respond to the needs of the general public and some of the pricing we will try for adopt, we will try for consider this and this and this parameter, so that even when we try for do business for make profit, we also want to get a stable country. We're going to we continue to do that kind of business and able to.
Mr. Minister, let we can now to the issue we make you there so we now the issue of the fuel crisis, diesel to be specific, we don't dey concern from drivers, passenger them, we dey apply different routes them. They raise concern say driver they don't increase on transportation. The driver themselves they say now because they not get diesel when you go to the dealer them themselves they say they not get wetin really they happen. Is it that na diesel not in the country or na the dealer them decide for all for some reasons?
Well, actually, say we possibly do business, you want go buy, and we can make no losses. The money we put inside the business we come with them, at least you will pull them. So waiting happened recently. We all know the current global thing where they go on. The flat price for them fuel products, petrol, diesel, even the fuel oil when they use for them big generator, and go up small. And we operate on the pricing of fuel products. We get what we call a pricing formula, where the World Bank, the private sector, the people that were there into the business of trading oil, they all fully accept that pricing formula. And we get a condition, they say, if as the parameters and the change, in most cases, the price of the fuel, the international flat price of the fuel, as in either go up or in can down, and therefore reach a point, some level, and the way either go past mark down, we will come back for review that pricing formula and consider for bringing the fuel price down, or if we go up to a certain level and go trigger, we all for come back say, oh, if we're not trying to adjust the price, and go get for lead to losses to the people that would bring kind of fuel. So now something like that now happened, and it happened very recently by the start of this new year. And unfortunately, the diesel stock we've been there, we know almost they run out, but we've been done try to get some more fuel. But looking at the current reality, I think say the trigger done there, and we'll try to see which kind of adjustment we need to make to the pricing formula. And government also they look at a number of other alternatives for coming and see which we'll be able to do so that this situation we don't find ourselves, we'll be able to resolve them amicably, and even the public not going to feel the pinch too much.
So the trigger waiting now for let the fuel price come up pass away there, so?
I think so that they suggest say we're going to get small increase. We are still in the discussion. The OMCs now, of course, the product with it today. If you go to any filling station, diesel don't they now?
The small increase we say we forget in the pump prices. Now a new strategy where they implement for try for stabilize the issues of crisis, because before now, even before you come na the ministry, we don't dey able different strategy them where various trade ministers they don't they implement. For example, will be area of the two-tier formula where government be implement at some point for try for stabilize this issue, because now issue we can come on and off.
Well, actually, not to any new strategy. We get a pricing formula, and that pricing formula we get the variables them where normally can either tell we say we need for put price down or we need for put them up a little bit. We don't try for liberalize the market, the oil marketing trade, and normally we think can happen in other country them. If you just say some filling stations then and they're on their own for make them adjust them price and for make them bring and can down. The stability we need now for make sure say we know able they all the time they push on up, bring and can down, send and go up, bring and can down. One for make we see how we're able to stabilize it in, and when normally even some slight change the be, it not affect the existing
But then
formula.
it can happen through the exchange rate, because for anytime the loans depreciate, the dealer them now foreign currency then can use for buy them products them. So for anytime the loans depreciate, it affect the same pricing formula.
You're right.
What they talk about.
You're right, Khadija. But like I say, even when there is a change, a shift in the exchange rate, if we factor the new exchange rate into the pricing formula, and we'll not say significantly change the current marketing price, we're not going to need for changing. But in this case, waiting really don't cause the need for make a shift, now that the flat prices don't go up. And Khadija Mano I then give you, comparing waiting we get right now, even with the slight increase what they're trying to do, the price of fuel in Sierra Leone still did down compared to the countries then within the region, except maybe Nigeria, where then they produce oil and then they subsidize. But when you take a look at what happened in Guinea, when our nearest neighbor, currently the fuel price, if you do the estimate in leones, and they're about 10,400 leones. If you take the one in Liberia, and they're about 9,800 leones. So when you look at what we do, you really see say we own kind of strategy where we try to implement using the pricing formula. And actually they for make we help and see how we will keep the prices at the lowest minimum I mean, if you compare them with other countries within the sub-region, we still Sierra Leone they do well.
So looking at the stability where you say about the fuel price, because you say, while the price they fluctuate, that go up and come down. One go they say that's not really achieved yet, because if you look back, I mean even previously, now so it done the day. So you talking about stability. What exactly you go want for do or plan for do? We go make if this slight change where they talk about happen, we not go see something change again.
Well, I'll tell you, certain variables and they were really they're beyond we on control. Like for instance, the flat price, the actual cost of the fuel at the international market. Sierra Leone they produce oil. We now begin produce oil it. The news they say oil day, but we now begin produce some it. We now get a refinery in the country. We try for bring come a refinery.
Okay.
And I believe say once we get the refinery, apart from the fact say we'll get some greater stability on the fuel price, we also be able to get a lot of jobs so they come from that kind of venture there.
Okay.
So we also they engage with other people then where they produce oil, other countries then for see what we go able to do and get oil available. Would they bring come? Would they think of allowing other actors also for come into the market? I believe say as we able broaden that sector, would expect things for look better.
For the retreat, Dr. Edward Ingas and the Minister of Trade and Industry, they don't give you update about the fuel issue and say there is going to be a slight change, though you not tell you exactly what the change will be. The program na Good Morning Salon. Don't forget for send your message or comment to the number 077 981 981.
Udeka now to Cyril Django, we in a political analyst and self-business consultant. He with we at the studio this morning. Mr. Django, good morning one more time.
Yes, so good morning, Khadija.
All right, you don't listen to the conversation we don't get to the Minister of Trade, and they don't state certain things them we according to some of the issues them we make price stability not the on fuel. Most time or the say crisis day and the see to line them at various gas station them and talking to other people then go state and clear say fuel like political commodity, and even before now don't they see some of the issues there don't they come up as a political economist and a business consultant we don't they in this field for a long time don't they analyze situation, how you can analyze the present situation of this fuel crisis where people and the experience and how you think say it affect the citizen them.
Fine question. How this fuel crisis they happen and they affect we. If you watch the trend, listeners and viewers, it happen too regularly now, And one of the things that they make a country economic grow. Now we get stability in fuel. Now for a poor country like Sierra Leone, enough fine for the key driver for the economy, they become so shaky time after time. Because if you remember, sometime in November, there was in fact a fuel crisis for meet up the holiday. And just before the holiday, we find out say fuel come. Now, there is need for a consistent policy on how to ensure say fuel not run out. Because already the minister they say, okay, fuel run out. But then we have to have a consistent policy where for make sure say fuel not run out, because it becomes a political weapon and an economic hardship tool as well. Now, a political weapon because past governments go on for say, hey, look at these guys. They are messing the economy, people are suffering, and they use as a tool for making their own case. Or it's also an economic suffering because every now and then the price of fuel go up. It get a pass-through effect on the ordinary man. Right now, I can tell you, say, we need to quantify how much we don't lose. We're making estimates can be up to billions of leons, several billions of leons, because several businesses are still waiting for fuel for run their business. And when you not get the fuel for run your business, na revenue loss, na problem for pay salary. So indeed, this thing is recurred too regularly, and I not see any consistent policy for address them. The minister was making a very fine mention of a meeting with these stakeholders, I mean the fuel dealers and others. But the issue is that I'm not too sure whether the government, through the minister, be they not say, because we learn to depreciate rapidly, because if you remember 2018, it was 7.5 by April or so, and 2020 now is 10,200 or 400. It's a massive increase, and that of course therefore affects the man with the imports. So I am not seeing a need for, there should be a need for synergy between the Minister of Finance and Trade on how they control this inflation, not to nothing they affect this fuel price. Now, the rapid rate of inflation, when you money, no, they get a value, now you earn for long. Now, in the key reason, he talks about the price, the world market price. Okay, let me show you how they set up the pricing in Sierra Leone, the Sierra Leone particular units, how it's set in price. INSAI, I think that's a problem there. And listen very carefully. They say now combined effects, and they look at for raise or reduce price. One of the combined, okay, there are three parameters. The Platts price, the average price we any country for sale in fuel for make smelting. You get the exchange rates, what they use for determine how much the leone don't grow or they don't depreciate. And thirdly, the landed cost for bring the fuel come. When I say landed cost, they mean the cost where the man not go through from where it ship am take come to clear them. For you get them all that tax in the all way it don't pay. The landed cost. So we are saying that perhaps inflation don't always be a problem, but they are saying world price of fuel not go up too rapidly.
All right, Mr. Django, they come back to you. 1 minute, 2 minutes past the hour, 8 o'clock. They'll just take this short commercial break. Let us make money.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile App, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody elect you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office elect you not get the account number. Buy Ed-Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You no need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagba don done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
We continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We will bring the program come to you this Wednesday morning. Mina Khadija Bangura.
And Sapti Yukalon.
Quickly, we take this public notice. We come out from the Domestic Tax Department, the National Revenue Authority. It is say the National Revenue Authority, NRA, wishes to remind the general public and taxpayers that the deadline for submission of self-assessment or revenue estimate return is the 31st January 2020. Taxpayers that fail to submit their self-assessment for 2020 against this deadline will be assessed by the NRA on best of judgment basis. Also, the minimum taxable income for individuals, employees, and partnership for income taxation is now 600,000 leones per month. The monthly threshold for allowances remains the same at 500,000 leones per month. The monthly taxable rates are as follows. Tax threshold, tax rate. First, 600,000 leones, 0% tax rate. Next, 600,000 leones, 15% tax rate. Next, 600,000 leones, 20% tax rate. Next, 600,000 leones, 25% tax rate. Income exceeding 2,400,000 leones, 30% tax rate. This na order we come out na the Commissioner General in office na the National Revenue Authority, NRA.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and now inside the program we come back to the studio guest them. And before the break we be get Cyril Django, being a political economist and also business consultant, we be the explain what the current livelihood situation in times of price control and other thing them.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. 077-981-981 are the number for send you text message, and yourself will be part of the program. Well, now we take one power headlines to read them. Also, Tuesday, January 14. First be happen at the All People's Congress APC party office between some APC and alleged SLPP supporter them. Also, the National Secretary General for the All People's Congress APC party, Ambassador Usman Fode Yansane, confirmed to Radio Democracy say some people be attacked in party office, chap and wound 4 APC party supporter them where they now in a hospital. Ambassador Usman Fode Yansane talk more about this incident inside this interview to Mange Mansari.
Well, the problems